Do we really have to do this?
We had to top season 1. So it was one of the first images that we had actually in our minds was, calling back to the old Swiss Family Robinson, how to get old school with the Jupiter and turning it into a sailing ship. So that was the first thing we thought of. Yeah, it worked out. But it's one thing for us to have a crazy idea, but then, we have VFX gurus who have to actually turn it into reality. But we actually did build a huge part of the top deck of the Jupiter that had the masts and everything else, those cranks. It was all practical.
And we tortured the cast with like water cannons and practical days, like getting soaked in those suits, which it turns out are not actual spacesuits. They like get cold and clammy on the inside in real life.
Things are a little bit different this season. Our cast is growing up. They're getting older than they were before, so the stories are a little more complicated. I think especially our big story of, Will's looking for his robot. Yeah. I think people forget the robot's a character too, and the robot's also growing as well as Will is. So when Will meets the robot, he might not be exactly the same robot that he was when they last parted ways.
In season 1, they were like very on their heels. It was like a survival adventure. And they're a more seasoned family and a more seasoned crew this year, and they're kind of on a quest, not just a quest to find the robot, which they have learned is the only way that they can survive in this like dangerous system, but also on a quest to sort of get back to Alpha Centauri and kind of come together as a family in the end, because as they get older, like new challenges arise too.
Having to play into, well, I'm stuck with these people, I've been stuck with them for 7 months, so might as well, be a part of it, but still detached, as in I'm not blood related, and if anything happens, I'm going to take care of myself. It's an interesting thing to play, because the real me, I want to make family with a person within seconds of meeting them. I'm like, yeah, I let them in, and this is different. This is about keeping that distance and being very cautious, something I'm not in real life.
Oh yeah, fitting in the cars.
Growing every day.
I feel like one of the biggest challenges for Will is, really finding his role in the family. We really see him develop into a hero. Obviously Will and the robot have more to do. And in season 2, figuring out what that dynamic is.
Her main point of tension is that she wants to be independent, but she's constantly being treated like a kid. And she struggles to identify with this family of overachievers. And sometimes she feels like she's out of place in her own home, which is a hard thing to feel, and she has nowhere to go, because where are you going to go in the middle of space? She finds what she's good at, and she finds how she can contribute. I think that she's still working on finding her exact place in the family, but she's getting much better at finding her strengths and how she can make everybody else stronger.
Yeah.
In terms of character development, they were really sort of looking, I think, at taking Maureen and just showing her as a person who, she wants to protect her family, she wants to give them the best opportunity that they have for a better life. But she also has a personal sort of wish, desire that she is meant to be in space, that she was meant to be out there. And there the conflict starts to become a thing with John. Even though, they're together now and they're solid, he wants to keep them safe, and she's a little bit more adventuresome.
There's other stuff that he's,
it is. It becomes much more of the story kind of takes over and the adventure takes over. But then there are bits where he's dealing with still stuff that's unresolved, and also the dynamic between him and Maureen, and it's interesting. I mean, because I think one of the ways that I think the series works is that to have a family show, you need to entertain the kids, but you also need something that the parents identify with. And I like the fact that there are kind of warts and all family. It isn't some sort of picture perfect family. There are issues there, issues that we all deal with as parents and married couples. But it's against this backdrop of, they're in space,
Yeah, Penny. I have a lot with Penny this season, and Maureen. Yeah, we're pretty close. I think we're like two sides of the same coin in a way. Mm-hmm. Like she can't do what she can do without me. Like I'm a real force for her as she is for me. So you get to see the relationship, kind of define it for what it is, at least in Dr. Smith's psychology of, because I think she could go anywhere, but she chooses to stay, with the Robinsons.
Sure.
I think there's just something about them that she can never get away from. We never want to leave them.